We've all heard or read the story of the Haunted Mansion, but few of us were even alive back when this terrifying estate opened to public. So to celebrate the mansion's anniversary, this video will be about how would it have felt to visit the house during that horrifying day. Get ready to listen to the chills and experience the original 1969 Haunted Mansion. I want to thank our subscribers for joining us and helping us reach a number close to 999 happy haunts. Subscribers, of course. I must say there is room for more than 999. Any volunteers? So keep joining this spirited community and hurry back to see all kinds of things Haunted Mansion. Now, let's take a trip back to 1969. Since 1963, folks that walked around New Orleans Square saw a vacant house with signs announcing it as a new attraction called the Haunted Mansion. Later, they would see signs of the mansion recollecting ghosts from all over the world, but no announcement of a date. Years passed and the attraction did not open. Kids started speculating and even saying someone died during a soft opening and the attraction had to be toned down because it was too terrifying for normal guests. The truth is, no one really knew what to do with the attraction, as we have seen before. But by 1969, things were solved and built and the attraction would open in October during the Halloween season. That is until Disneyland operations decided to tell Mark Davis, who was managing many of the openings and rides at the time, to open the mansion during the last week of August. But when did the mansion actually open? August 9, August 12, or August 7? Well, we're about to see all that right here. The LA Times has an ad showing the opening on the 9th. Yet the Disneyland Insight claimed in one article that employees were given a creep preview August 7 and 8 between 7 p.m. and midnight. That's where some employees reported some problems with the Hatbox Ghost effect and the hitchhiking ghost effect. We know for a picture of a press badge that the press preview was on August 11th, 1969. But between the employee soft openings and the press preview on the 11th, Mark Davis himself drew and approved an ad to be displayed on the LA Times on August 9, 1969, saying the mansion was open for all to visit. People who were in the park during Saturday, August 9th were surprised to find the mansion open without any fanfare or ceremony. Apparently, the Haunted Mansion was programmed to open in October during the Halloween season, as I've stated before. But Disneyland operations pressured Davis because they had the marvelous idea, and I'm being very sarcastic, to open the mansion on the last week of the summer season to get hold of the summer box. After all, the building had been there since 1963. The opening was made as a last-minute thing, with some effects not working properly and guests not even knowing the mansion would open then. Davis was in fact in the middle of testing and adjusting and had seen failed effects both in the hitchhiking ghost carousel, the Hatbox Ghost in the attic, and the sound boxes in the Doom Buggies, where the narration of Paul Frees was suddenly absent because they were failing. There was no publicity made for the mansion for August or announcement of any kind, so this haunted estate was forced to open some months in advance, and a pressured Mark Davis, who had already worked almost a decade in the attraction, did what he could to open it with all the dignity the haunted estate deserved. An employee poster announced the soft opening. It was here where some employees snapped pictures of things that would be gone forever, such as the Hatbox Ghost and the Corpse Bride, and many other small details. The mansion was simply opened. If you had entered the park, the map would have announced a new attraction named the Haunted Mansion, open for the day. People were caught by surprise, but word of mouth spread out quickly. That building that hadn't opened because it had such a horrifying attraction inside, well, it was open now. 50 members of the press were dined and wined at Club 33 during the night of the 11th. Then, at the strike of midnight, just when it turned out to be August the 12th, light went out, and the Disneyland ambassador guided the press members to the riverfront, for she diverted them and prevented them from entering the house after a cast member told her the ride vehicle sound boxes were not working properly, hence losing the narration of the ghost host himself. When the problem was solved, she introduced them inside the house, where members of the press were most astonished by the grand hall scene, which stays described in several press releases as being one of the most impressive things they had ever laid their eyes upon. Press releases and some radio ads such as these:
Something new is waiting for you at Disneyland. It looks rather innocent. Just a big old mansion. But there's a twist. You see, this mansion is haunted.
Plus, word of mouth made crowds descend into the attraction. The weekend after the mansion opened, 82,516 guests crammed in the gardens of New Orleans Square to get inside the haunted mansion. Lines stretched from the gates of the mansion to Pirates, into Adventureland, and all the way to the hub. People waited there for 3.5 hours to meet the 999 happy haunts. After all, they had waited over 7 years. They could wait some 3 more hours. Disneyland's 15th anniversary would be in 1970. The mansion's opening thrill lasted well into the new decade. Tombstones and dark souvenirs were made available, some with the names of the guests as if they were epitaphs. During New Year's Eve, going from 1969 to 1970, the mansion was the big star, being shown at the promotions and drawing crowds, even during the Christmas season and before. Long before Haunted Mansion holiday. So what changed from opening day to this date? The Haunted Mansion has not changed that much since opening day. Still, there are some significant differences from that 1969 attraction. First of all, the plaques in the entrance were golden. The gardens were much more manicured. There was a family plot graveyard where the extended queue is now. The portrait hallway had portraits that changed slowly, not with thunderbolts, and Master Gracie was not present. But the main differences can be found in the room that has changed the most: the attic. The attic on opening day had no music. You could only hear the screams and the heartbeat, and the strange mixture of the grand hall's music with the graveyard swing. Jumping from trunks and hat boxes, several ghosts that were not dressed as grooms, but as simple ghosts, and the jumps synchronized to jump to the end of the grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize song. After a lot of paraphernalia, you'd see a bride with a candle and corpse factions. Right next to her, a corpse-like groom holding a hat box. You would not understand the trick because his head would turn darker while a second head appeared in a box. Instead of looking like a decapitated ghost, it looked like a two-headed fellow. A failed trick. This fellow would be removed and would be subject of controversy. The bride would also be removed and changed several times. This attraction that took so many years in the making, opened 3 times without publicity, became an instant hit. It was unjustly compared in its time to the grandiose and massive scale of Pirates of the Caribbean. But the mansion would become a classic itself with time, and I could dare say that before the Pirates of the Caribbean movies came out, it was far more popular than the Pirates Ride. I wish the Haunted Mansion a happy birthday and wish it more years in the afterlife. That has been all for now. Rest in peace, and I'll see you all a little later.